Springbok Radio presents The Uninvited. Have you heard them? Those fearful sounds in the dead of night. The muffled creak of a loosened board. The shuffling step of a ghostly figure. The eerie voice of the uninvited.
Hello, Mrs. Owens of Fairway, Durban.
Hello.
Mrs. Owens, how would you get these dirty white slacks white again in just one wash?
In just one wash?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll use my usual product, Surf. I find that the blue in the Surf brings out the whiteness.
Surf? You've
Yeah.
been using it a long time?
7 years.
7 years?
Over 7 years, yes.
And what is the quality of Surf that you think is so...
Well, it gets everything clean.
Well, there you are. Most housewives trust Surf with Super Blue for perfect whiteness in just one wash.
Why use up your hard-earned savings to pay for that overseas flight? Barclay Flight keeps your capital intact, keeps it working, earning interest for you. Barclay Flight, up to 2 whole years to pay for an overseas flight at installments so low that you won't want to touch your investments. Barclay Flight, no sureties, no forms, no waiting, no deposit. Show your Barclay card to your travel agent and keep your nest egg to come home to.
He tooted the horn to let the fellow on the road know he wanted him to get out of the way. For Stephen Holmes had urgent business in town and wasn't going to waste time with hitchhikers. Besides, it was lonely on the Cornish road, and you could never tell about hitchhikers, and best not to have anything to do with them. No good. There the idiot stood fair in the middle of the road, and it was too dangerous to try to avoid him. Holmes would have to pull up.
Damn nuisance. Think you'd take a hint? Ah, well. Will you kindly get out of my way? I'm in a hurry.
I just want a lift, mister. Just a lift.
Sorry, I can't help you. Not today, anyway. I'm having trouble with the carburetor as it is. Engine won't idle. It just cuts out.
Get out of the car.
Eh? Here, what's the idea?
You heard me. Get out of the car. I need that crate and I'm going to have it.
You must be out of your mind.
This isn't a cap pistol, mister. Now, come on, out.
You can take your hand off that door. I'm not moving.
All right. You asked for it. What the devil?
As I thought, you were bluffing.
But it is loaded. There's something wrong with the fool thing.
You better get back to stealing women's handbags, my friend. Goodbye.
No, you don't. I want that car and let go. All right? You want to play it tough? Oh. No, keep away from me.
What the blaze is it?
No. No, keep away from me. No, please. Please keep away from me.
Mad. Completely off his rocker.
Stephen Holmes completed his drive to town, where he successfully concluded his business, the first part of which was to sell the nearly new car for some £700. However, he found it wasn't easy to dismiss from his mind the man on the road. And as a result of discussing the incident with the car dealer, he decided to make a call at the police station before he completed his business and caught the bus back home.
Take a seat, Mr. Holmes, will you? I'm Sergeant Ward.
Well, I don't have very much time, Sergeant.
Yes, that's all very well, sir. But you've made a statement about meeting this man on the road and being threatened.
And I was. But I suspect the fellow is just some crackpot who...
I'm afraid not, sir. I very much suspect it could have been Albert Tamblyn.
Who?
Albert Tamblyn. You must have read about him in the papers.
Tamblyn. Oh, you mean that man who murdered the farmer in Devon and got away with...
That's the one. Of course, we can't call him a murderer yet, you understand. We only want him for questioning.
Seems pretty obvious he did it from the paper reports.
Well, man to man, I agree, sir. But officially, we only want him for questioning. Now, this chap you met, a heavy-set, dark man, very bushy eyebrows, rather piercing eyes.
Yes, that sounds very much like him. His nose was sort of flattened, as I recall, as though it had been broken and not set properly.
Then, that's Tamlin for sure.
Good heavens.
Yes, exactly. Now, suppose you tell me exactly what happened, Mr. Holmes.
Happened? Well, he was there ahead of me on the road and waving for me to stop.
You were driving a car?
Yes, didn't I say that?
No. And as you mentioned something about catching a bus a minute ago,
I just sold the car, you see.
Oh, I see. Just a minute. Aren't you the chap who bought the old house out by Hammerhead Rock?
That's right. My wife and I rather...
I thought I remembered the name. There was all that business about the gold coins.
Yes, that's right.
Are you liking it out there, Mr. Holmes?
To tell the truth...
I heard you had a bit of trouble in a kind of way.
I'd rather not talk about it, if you don't mind. And my bus, if you want to hear about...
Yes, of course. I'm sorry to get off the subject. About Tamlin. We presume it was Tamlin. You said he waved to you to stop.
And I did stop. I didn't have much choice. He was standing right in the middle of the road, which isn't very wide there.
Where was this exactly?
Just this side of that sharp bend from the hill, about 4 miles out.
Ah, yes, I know the spot. What happened after you pulled up?
Well, he said he wanted a lift. Then when I refused, he produced a pistol. When I called his bluff, he tried to shoot me.
It was a dangerous thing to do, Mr. Holmes. Calling his bluff, you could have been killed.
Yes. Well, actually, the gun must be faulty. It wouldn't fire.
Really? That's interesting. Then we know he can't shoot us if we corner him. Yes, what then, sir?
Well, it was rather odd, actually. He was trying to drag me out of the car, and suddenly he stopped and cried out. There was a look of terror in his face, abject terror, as though he'd seen something horrible. He just took off yelling, "No, no," and so on.
What did he see?
Out there on the open road, wasn't anything to see. There was nothing at all. So he couldn't have... unless...
Yes, Mr. Holmes? Unless what?
Oh, nothing. Well, that's all I can tell you, Sergeant. That's exactly what happened. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really must catch that bus.
Oh, very well, sir.
Come, darling.
Stephen, what happened? I was getting worried. I was expecting you in the first bus. Did something go wrong?
Oh, now, what could possibly go wrong? There, I'm home. Everything's all right.
You sold the car?
What a question. That's what I went to town for, wasn't it?
And the rest of it, you used the money to...
Most of it. Still have 50 we can call our own. Of course, if we hadn't bought the car in the first place, we'd have been better off. But we didn't realize, did we?
I hope it works, Stephen. I only hope it works.
Of course it'll work. It has to. After all, the message was quite obvious.
I don't think I could stand it otherwise. I couldn't go on living here, Stephen. I just couldn't.
I know. So it has to work. Because we'd never get our money back in the place we had to sell and move away. Not now.
That Mr. Gardner ought to be ashamed of himself, taking us in the way he did.
That's a bit rough, darling. It didn't exactly take us in, you know. He did say there was a story about the old house.
Stephen, if we have one more night like the others, I think I shall go right out of my mind.
Now, don't talk like that, Jan. We're not going to have another night like the others. And you're not going out of your mind. Nor are we going to move out. Everything's going to be all right. You'll see.
After this rather fraught interchange, Mr. and Mrs. Holmes had their evening meal and retired to bed early, for they were both rather tired. This was understandable, for if they were able, as Stephen had said they would be, to sleep through this night undisturbed, it would not only be a welcome relief, but rather remarkable. For since they'd bought this fascinating old house a few weeks before, laughing easily at the story of its being haunted, they'd scarcely known a full night's rest, and the matter of haunting had become far from a joke. It had started a bare week after they moved in. Stephen, a normally sound sleeper, was awakened in the middle of the night by his wife shaking him.
Stephen, wake up.
Yeah?
Stephen, wake up.
What? What's that?
I heard something.
Heard something? What did you hear? I can't hear anything.
Not now, but it woke me up.
Well, what was it?
I don't know. A kind of a thumping upstairs.
Upstairs? Oh, come off it, old girl. There's nothing above us but the attic.
I know that. It sounded as though somebody was moving things about up there.
In the attic? Nonsense. You imagined it. Why, even if there were a burglar in the place, he wouldn't be up there.
Even I'm frightened.
Oh, Jan, for heaven's sake. All right. I'll go up into the attic and take the torch and take a look. Will that make you happy?
Janet didn't want Stephen to go up to the attic, but on the other hand, she had to know what caused the noise she heard, so he went. And eventually he came back.
Well, what did you find?
Nothing but our old trunks and suitcase and a lot of cobwebs and dust, which I might say is all over my pajamas.
Are you sure you
Look, darling, you've just been letting that story about the house being haunted prey on your mind or something. Now, let's get back to bed and...
There it is again.
Great Scott. It does sound as though there's something up there.
It stopped. Well, now you know I didn't imagine it. There was something up there.
But I tell you, nobody'd been up there. The dust hadn't been disturbed. There was no sign. What?
There.
Oh. No. No.
Agnes Clewitt, that was her name, Mr. Holmes. Lived in that house for 30 years. Died there, too. Never owned the place, of course.
Mr. Gardner, you shouldn't have sold us that house. As a responsible estate agent...
I told you there was a story the place was haunted, Mr. Holmes. I told you that when you asked me why it had been unsold for so long. Now, you can't say I didn't.
Yes, but I had no idea. I mean, who really believes in ghosts nowadays?
People around here do, I can tell you. Great place for ghosts is Cornwall. I must say, though, you're a bit unlucky. I mean, another couple I know have a ghost in their place. A sweet, pretty young thing. Yeah, it leaves the air full of lovely perfume.
Well, whatever this thing was, it was certainly nothing like that.
Oh?
This Agnes Clewitt, tell me about her.
Well, there's not much to tell. Actually, I didn't know her. I just saw her a couple of times. She died only a few years back. Left a lot of unpaid debts in the town, too. People had taken pity on her. Let her run up all kinds of bills.
And she was poor then?
Aye, that she was. Poor in pocket and poor in spirit. Mean and crabby. Just the same, not everybody agreed she had to be mean. Some said she had a lot of money hidden away. Never came to light, though.
Why would she be haunting the house? I mean, if we're going to agree that Janet and I have seen her ghost, why is she there?
Well, now, I can't say handling real estate has taught me much about ghosts, Mr. Holmes. Now, I'd like to help you. And, of course, if you'd like me to list your place for sale,
Don't bother. I'm not selling.
Oh, you're staying on, you mean?
I'm a writer, Mr. Garden. And I've written many creepy ghost stories in my time. If I let some ghost, real or imagined, drive me out of my own home, how would I ever face myself or my public again?
Oh, I see.
No, I'm staying. And the next time that woman shows herself, she'd better be a real ghost.
There is a corner of the vineyard selected for Montac. Montac Vino Blanco Selecto, a selected wine in the Spanish tradition, born of the finest white grapes, harvested from the most bountiful soil. Montac, a wine fit for noblemen, endowed with all the richness and nobility that nature alone can bestow. Montac Vino Blanco Selecto. Montac.
Peugeot 404 Automatique relieves traffic. Their real value for money. Incredibly reliable. No running costs. Whatever your motoring problem, the 404 can cure it. Peugeot 404, more than a sugar-coated pill.
expresses your thoughts on Christmas Day and every day of the year. Revlon.
For her, intimate or aquamarine, enchanting individual items, lavish gift sets, luxurious vanity bags.
For him, pub or that man.
This Christmas, let Revlon say it all for you.
There we are, darling. When my uncle insisted on making me a present of this old sword, I never thought I never thought it would have had a practical use.
I must say, it looks awfully dangerous.
Well, if horrible Agnes shows up again tonight, she'd better not be some kind of prankster, because I'm going to have a go at it. She'd have been the ugliest woman in England if she looked anything like a ghost.
And yet, do you know, I had a strange feeling about her.
Oh? How do you mean?
Well, she looked so evil, leering at us like that. And yet I couldn't help feeling she was trying to be friendly.
With that toothless grin, you must be joking.
It was in the daytime, and it was rather easier to chat about the frightful apparition than it was later as twilight closed in and day gave way to the shroud of night. In bed, they both lay awake for hours. It must have been about 2:00 when they heard it again.
Stephen, listen.
Easy now, darling, easy. Keep a grip on yourself. There, it's gone.
Stephen, I can't stand it. I just can't sit here and wait.
Steady, Janet, steady. We've got to wait. Hang on to yourself.
Stephen!
I see her.
I can't, look, I can't.
Well, I can, and this is it. All right, you, whatever you are, take that.
She was gone, the apparition, with its red-rimmed eyes, its mouth like a gash in a suet pudding, had gone apparently right through the closed door of the bedroom. Stephen's blood was up, however, and he was not to be stopped now.
You stay there, Janet. I'm going after it, whatever it is.
No, Stephen, please don't leave me alone.
Here she is, but it says the attic. All right, I'm going to get you, you rotten old hag.
No, Stephen, please don't leave me here.
Now Stephen, too, was gone, and Janet was left alone in the darkened bedroom, whimpering softly to herself. Suddenly, as she leapt out of bed, her eyes wide with renewed terror, as she heard Stephen's voice from the attic.
No!
Stephen? Is that you up there?
Fear for her husband overwhelming her panic, Janet was out of the bedroom and running barefoot to the attic stairs almost before she knew what she was doing. There was no sign of any ghost as she scrambled up the rickety stairway and burst into the attic.
Stephen?
Oh, that hurt, by gosh. Hello, darling.
Oh, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. I think.
What happened?
I'm not sure. All I know is I followed the apparition or whatever up here, standing over there against the wall. I dived towards it, and something tripped me up.
Tripped you up? But there's nothing there to trip over. Look, you can see for yourself.
Just the same, something tripped me. No mistake about that. I fell, bashed my shoulder against the wall, fell and rolled over here. I hope I haven't sprained anything.
Oh, you shouldn't have tried to chase her, Stephen. You must have made her angry.
Well, I can tell you she makes me pretty angry, too. What's the matter? What are you staring at?
What's that on the floor over there? Something gleaming.
Eh? Where?
Well, this is where you said you fell, isn't it?
Yes, I've cracked the wall mighty hard, too.
Look, you made a hole in the wall. The plaster's all broken away. Stephen, there's something inside. See? Look, it's all fallen out on the floor.
I say, what is it? Too much to hope to be bags of gold or something.
That's exactly what it is. Look, here's what I saw shining on the floor.
Why, it looks like a sovereign. It is. It's an old gold sovereign.
And look, there are heaps of them here, Stephen. Just heaps of them.
And indeed there were. Several hundred sovereigns, in fact. And as all the world knows, gold sovereigns, although no longer legal currency, are worth a good deal more today than their face value. Well, later that night, downstairs, before a stoked-up fire, Stephen and Janet Holmes sipped hot cocoa and gazed in wonderment at the neat little stacks of gleaming coins on the coffee table in front of them.
You know what I think?
What?
I think this is all what it was all about. And I think you were right. She was trying to be friendly. I'm sorry I called her an old hag.
You think she was trying to let us know that all this money was hidden in the attic?
I'm sure of it. Ugly as sin though she might be, she's a friendly old ghost. And good luck to her, I say.
Oh, Stephen, isn't it marvelous?
You know what this means, don't you, darling? It means we can afford that car we've always wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And what's more, as soon as I can take these coins to the bank, that's exactly what we're going to have. A nice, bright, shiny, new car. Well, darling, what do you think of her?
Simply wonderful, Stephen. Simply wonderful. Oh, a car of our own. It's a dream come true.
Janet had good reason to suppose all would now be well, and that the ghost of the old crone, Agnes Clewett, was friendly to them, despite her horrifying appearance. In a way, she was, as events were to prove, yet not quite in the way the young couple supposed. That night, they didn't have to wait till they were in bed. It happened while they were enjoying their after-dinner coffee by the big open fireplace in the parlor.
Ah, that was very good. Perhaps I only imagined it, but the coffee was especially good tonight.
There's some more in the pot.
Good. I just... oh, good grief, what was that?
My boy! My mother gave it for my birthday.
Hey, what's on earth?
Stephen, the mirror. It just fell out of the frame.
What on earth is happening?
Stephen, it's her. It's her. She's doing it.
But she's not here. I don't see anything.
Do you understand? She's angry with us. She's wrecking the place, Stephen. You've got to do something.
But what could he do? What could either of them do? Nothing but wait. At last, after what seemed an age, it was over, and there was a long silence. Then Janet started to cry. Oh, there, Jan, old girl, bear up, huh? Step out the lips called for, you know.
I can't help it. It's all so horrible. She leads us to that money, and now this. Oh, my lovely thing, smashed to bits.
The place does look pretty much of a shambles, I must say. Phew.
Oh, Stephen, what are we going to do? We must get away from this horrible place. We must.
We can't, darling. That's just it.
But why not?
All our savings are in this place. With its reputation, our only hope of selling would be to find a pair of fools like ourselves. And that, I don't believe, is possible.
But we must do something.
The following week was a constant nightmare, with visitations from Agnes Clewett a daily occurrence. Janet's nerves had almost reached breaking point, so that she nearly jumped out of her chair when one evening Stephen broke a gloomy silence with...
By George, I've got it.
Oh, Stephen, don't do that. You really made me jump out of my skin.
I solved the mystery, Janet. I know why she's keeping at us worse than ever.
Oh, how could you possibly?
The debts. She wanted us to use the money to pay the debts.
Debts? What debts?
I'd almost forgotten. But it just came back to me. Something Gardner said when he told me about Agnes.
Gardner?
When she died, she owed people money, people in town. She was supposed to be a pauper, you see.
Oh, I don't see what that
She wasn't a pauper, we know that. She had all those sovereigns hidden away. And she kept them all hidden till the day she died. She didn't pay what she owed.
Good heavens, you think that...
Of course. Her ghost can't rest until the debts are paid. That's quite a common sort of reason for ghosts to hang about, so they say. Never too late to mend, you know. Even after you're dead, apparently.
Well, that would account for being so angry when we bought the car.
Yes, so she wrecked the place. Led me to the hidden money, expecting me to pay her old debts, which run into quite a bit, and I believe she owed more than £200 in rent on this place. That's what Gardner said.
And you think that if the debts were paid, then we wouldn't see her again?
I'm sure of it. I should have thought of it before.
But, Stephen, we haven't got the money now. Most of it went into the car.
I know, darling. And that's why I'm driving the car into town in the morning and selling it.
Selling it?
Selling it to pay Agnes Clewett's debts and give us all some peace.
Middle-aged, feel you're aging too quickly? Are odd aches and pains nagging you? Has your memory let you down lately? Can't concentrate on your work either? You need Salusa 45. Salusa 45 improves physical vigor, revives mental alertness, restores sound sleep.
Firm support? But, Mary, I want comfort.
There's nothing more comfortable than Sealy Posturepedic Firm Support.
How?
Support for your body, just where it needs it. Your muscles can relax. They sleep when you do.
So is Sealy Posturepedic not hard?
Never. Orthopedic surgeons help design it. Sealy Posturepedic's comfortable firm support gives you real comfort.
Comfortable firm support. I've got to try this.
Now, Perry, let's have that again in the proper manner.
Middle-aged, feel you're aging too quickly? Are odd aches and pains nagging you? Has your memory let you down lately? Can't concentrate on your work either? You need Salusa 45. Salusa 45 improves physical vigor, revives mental alertness, restores sound sleep. Salusa 45 makes you feel and look years younger. Enjoy life again with Salusa 45.
I'll come with you to the gate. Oh, it's lovely out here this morning.
Oh, not as lovely as you, old girl. My word, 2 nights' good sleep has worked wonders for you.
You must have been right, Stephen, about her wanting you to pay those old debts for her. I'm so thankful that Mr. Gardner could find out who she owed the money to.
Well, she hasn't bothered us since I made the decision to sell the car. And I don't think we'll ever hear of her again.
I don't mind doing without the car. I'd rather have my peace of mind and... Hello?
Huh? Oh, car coming. Thought it was too early for the bus. Well, who will this be, I wonder?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Why, it's Sergeant. What's his name? Sergeant Ward. Oh, good morning, Sergeant. Looking for me?
I am that, Mr. Holmes. Couldn't resist telling you what happened about Albert Tamblyn.
Huh? That murderer you were after. The chap who held me up on the road.
Murderer? Held you up? What on earth do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, Janet. Didn't want to worry with it. It was when I took the car in. Had to spot a bother with a fellow the police are after.
Were after, sir. We got him yesterday afternoon. Not far from where you said you met him.
Oh, good show. To give you any trouble? That pistol of his wasn't much good, but...
Funny thing about that, Mr. Holmes. That pistol was fully loaded, and there was nothing wrong with it. Fired the first time we tried it out.
But how odd. I told you, he must have pulled the trigger 4 or 5 times and it wouldn't go off. What did he have to say about it?
Nothing, sir. Tamblyn was dead when we found him.
Dead?
Stone dead. Lying face down on the ground. The way we figured it, he'd been clawing at the soil. His fingernails were all torn. And the expression on his face, it wasn't very nice to see. The doctor found nothing wrong with him, organically, that is. Said he died of... It sounds funny, I know, but the doctor said he died of sheer fright. Queer, that, isn't it?
Agnes.
Pardon, sir?
Agnes Cluett. He tried to steal her car.
Nobody ever solved the mystery of why the loaded gun in the murderer's hand hadn't fired, or why he himself had died so horribly. Nobody but Stephen and Janet, that is. They knew it was the work of Agnes Cluett, who had let no man stop Stephen selling the car and paying off her old debts. Those debts that had kept her unhappy soul earthbound, tied to that house wherein she dwelt as an uninvited.
Saturday night? What's Saturday night?
Happiness.
And Sunday?
Yes, family.
Outing?
Dinner guests.
And Monday? For those of you who find Mondays one almighty washout, General Electric suggests their new super-size automatic washing machine. This front loader cleans a whopping 6.5 kilos washing spotlessly at a time. Look into this new super automatic from General Electric now and wash your hands of the week's dirty work for good.
Every Saturday evening at 9 o'clock, Springbok Radio brings you true tales of the supernatural, the eerie voice of the uninvited.
You're tuned to the national network of Springbok Radio. It's your favorite station for brighter broadcasting. An accurate time signal. When you hear the gong, it'll be precisely 9:30.
We present Marriage Lines.